Hi, YouTubies! It's me, Zachary Michael. Also, sometimes I scare myself when it comes out too aggressive. Although, was that too aggressive? Yesterday, during the second reaction, people were like, that wasn't aggressive enough, Zach. That was too calm. That was too calm, Zach. Like, what are we doing? So, I'm sorry if I went too far in the other direction today. My apologies. It's like when Nicki Minaj turns into Roman. Nicki Minaj's little sister is on Baddies Gone Wild. And not enough people are talking about this. Actually, there probably are plenty of people talking about this. When I was watching with my friend, though, my friend was like, how are you going to have a little sister that looks like your op? Because her little sister does look a little bit like Cardi B. Have you seen her? She does look a little bit like Cardi B. It's kind of a little crazy. What is her name again? Ming Lee, I think is her name. Where let me find a picture of her. Ming Lee, Nicki Minaj sister. Well, wait, this is not the point. This is not wait. 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 That's not the point of this stream. Ford focus, Zachary Murray. Ford focus. Nope. We're not going on a sidebar. Nope. Just look up Ming Lee, Nicki Minaj sister, because that's her. Um, well, I do have pictures, but now all of on the show she kind of looked like Cardi B, but then all of these pictures when you Google her, they have her right next to Nicki, and I'm like, oh no, here she looks like Nicki. so I'm like, I don't know. Maybe my friend was wrong. Anyways, today kindness is free. It sure is, Diva. That doesn't mean we can all afford to do it. What was I gonna say? Oh, so today we're watching Frugally Delicious. You might remember her from the phrase cheese broth or cheese water, because she would like melt cheese in water and then be like, ooh, look at this great cheese sauce. Look at it. Doesn't it look so good? And she's her whole shtick is like making delicious frugal meals for very cheap. Well, that's what frugal means, right? And frugal she does. Frugal she accomplishes. Frugal is something that she's true to. Delicious, the verdict is out. The verdict is in fact out. I've never actually tried her food myself. I will say I appreciate the concept of like trying to present affordable meals to folks who are looking to save money. I know times are tough. This is not a drag of people who can't uh, afford to spend a lot of money on groceries and meals and stuff like this. But also, we've watched folks who make cheap, frugal meals that look good. I mean, literally just watch Southern Frugal Mama, and like, I would eat probably all of the meals that she made, to be honest. I probably wouldn't put cottage cheese on my Mexican rice, but but otherwise, like, all of that food looked good. And we've watched Frugal Fit Mom make some stuff. She's also made a couple questionable things, but mostly made good looking food. Dollar Tree dinners is a good example of it. So I do appreciate people who are putting in that work, because I think like YouTube can be a great resource for a lot of folks. But I don't know. I don't know that I don't I don't know that I would eat a lot of her stuff. Zach, the likes are telling you to start. Oh my gosh, she does have 69 likes on the video. Okay. This long ass disclaimer. Well, I do say that because, I mean, in general, I don't mean ill towards most of the people we watch. I was like, outside of the ones that are problematic, like Sarasota Tim, you know, I think a lot of these moms on YouTube who are cooking stuff are like genuinely doing their best. And I do know a lot of people were like frustrated in the comments on my Southern Frugal Mama one. So I get it. I don't mean ill will to her, to anybody. And so that's probably why I'm giving an extra disclaimer. Because I'm sure this woman is nice. But that doesn't mean her food is good, you know? It doesn't mean her food is good. Lisa Lamb, thanks for gifting a sub to the barn. Appreciate it. Nobody was being mean to Southern Frugal Mama. I do appreciate the feedback that people gave about comparing her to a pug. I didn't mean anything malicious by it, but I do understand the concept of like comparing women to animals. So I got that, I hear that, and will avoid it in the future. So I think that's what most people were upset about, and they felt like I was being too mean. Anyways, if y'all are ready to start this this reaction, you should have compared her to Skrillex, not this diva. People were mad when I compared that woman to Skrillex too, which I think is far different because it was a comparison of hairstyles. But anyways, I do sincerely like apologize for the pug thing, and we'll not do that in the future. We'll be more mindful of that. Anyways, if you're ready though, put 69s in the chat. I need to focus. I need to focus. I never knew who Skrillex was until that day. Oh, that's probably for the best. Well, I don't know. Skrillex was really popular, I think, when I was in college. Like in undergrad. Ooh, okay, lots of 69s today. Awooga, I'm so glad you changed your username back to Awooga. I'm so glad. I'm thrilled. I'm glad to have you here. Oh, and this video today is called three ingredient meals less than $2 per meals for $1.70 or less. Why is the word meals in here so many times? 3 ingredient meals less than $2 per meals for $1.70 or less. Meals, you know? I think she's maybe missing some punctuation. Like, I think it could be 3 ingredient meals, comma, meals less than $2, comma. Wait, no. 3 ingredient meals, comma, meals less than $2 per meal, comma, meals for $1.70 or less. Well, that's also redundant. Why do you need meals less than $2 and then meals for $1.70 or less? I'm so confused with the title of this video, but SEO doesn't care how many times you say meals, ma'am. Don't try to make sense out of nonsense, Zach. I've been saying that, actually. I haven't even taken my gummy yet, but I feel like I have after hearing that. I'm very confused. It could have used some bars or something. Anyways, let's get to, shall we? Let me know how the audio is. We haven't watched her in a while.
Hello, welcome to Frugally Delicious.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me today.
Hey.
We're going to be making some meals that require just 3 ingredients per meal. And each of these is $1.70.
What is this intro?
And each of these meals is pretty straightforward. So the first one I'm going to be making is toast with a creamy seared banana spread. You'll need...
Very quiet. I turned her up a little bit. Girl, that's a snack. Well, first of all, it's a snack. Second of all, a creamy seared banana spread. Oh, also, Jamie said we could speed this up. Oops, well, we can turn captions on too, but Jamie said we could put it on 1.25.
Need a roll. That was $1.46 at Walmart. All this was
It was 46 cents, not $1.46.
bought at Walmart. A plain yogurt, 72 cents.
Okay.
A small banana, 16 cents. So this total for the meal is $1.34. I'll say it's not bad for a meal. This is going to be my breakfast. Something super simple.
Okay. Oh, I guess it could be a breakfast. It could be a meal for breakfast. It does feel kind of like a snack, but I would say, like, this is no different than me having, like, a bagel with cream cheese for breakfast, you know?
And because this is kind of more of a simple meal, I do want to make it a bit fancy. So I will be doing a few little extra steps. Of course, you could just put your banana and your yogurt on this, dip the banana in the yogurt, have yourself a piece of toast on the side. But I do like to jazz it up just a little bit. So I am going to toast my bread, and then we can work on
Wait, that's the part that makes it fancy? Is that the part that makes it fancy?
our banana mixture we're going to put on the inside. I just picked up the plain yogurt. You could get like a strawberry or a banana flavor, or cherry, whatever your favorite is. I just picked up the plain. I'm going to sweeten it with some of this banana. Just going to get that peeled. And I'm going to sear up some of this banana too. But if you wanted to, you could get the plain and then sweeten it with like brown sugar. That's what I would do. I'm going to slice up some of this so I can get it into...
I feel like also you could just as easily just get like an already flavored Greek yogurt. I mean, I like that we're getting fresh fruit, but like it would be even cheaper, I guess, if you would just get a flavored yogurt to put in it. You know? Like, is this really gonna be a recipe, I guess? And also, yeah, the yogurt would probably be the same price. And also, why are we putting yogurt on bread? Sorry, I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of questions.
All right, I'm going to start with that. And I'm only going to use a little bit of this yogurt. Get the bananas in there. It's like kind of looks like a little banana pudding.
No,
and I'm just going to mash these into my yogurt. And I'm doing this for two reasons. I want the banana flavor to be inside of the yogurt. And then two, because I want the yogurt to have a little bit of sweetness to it. So I'm going to use the banana to accomplish that.
It's not a recipe, it's a meals. How could I forget? It's not a recipe, it's a meals. You're so right.
Perhaps I should have mashed the banana first. But it's all good. It's almost there. Just a splash of vanilla would be good in here if you got the plain and you didn't want to add any sweetener to it. You wanted a little bit more flavor. A vanilla extract would be delicious. All right, that's good. And then the rest of this, I'm going to slice them pretty thick. You can see there. So they're pretty thick. And
what do you
I've
know
actually
about
seared
thick?
bananas on my channel before. Really simple. Just using a plain banana. All right, my bread is toasted. And I'm only going to toast the one side. The other side, I'm going to leave soft. Had to get rid of the crumbs.
Are we not using both sides of the bread? She had a roll. Are we not making like a sandwich out of it? I'm so confused.
And you'll either need butter or oil, and that's just to get your pan so that your food doesn't stick to it. And this will help sear up the bananas and get them nice and crispy.
That's not hot.
On the outside, still kind of chewy and soft though.
I mean, I guess it's hot enough to like melt the butter, but I feel like it needs to be hotter if we're gonna sear.
I'm just gonna add those in there, lay them in a flat layer, and I actually wanted to tell you guys I'm working on a 3-ingredient meal video, kind of like this one, and it'll be for 30 days. So I'll have 30 recipes in there, and I'm gonna do 10 low carb options, and then I'll do 20 just regular carb things that I eat. All right, I'm just gonna get those seared up on both sides.
I appreciate that comment. 3 ingredient meal, but it takes 15 minutes to make a bagel sandwich. It feels like we're really overcomplicating this. Yeah. It feels like it doesn't need to be this complicated. But then I guess it then comes down to like, if it was more simple than this, would she have anything to put in a video? I could make an egg sandwich in this amount of steps and time. Yeah, true.
Seared bananas just have this like magical smell. I love it. Flipping them over, they have a nice caramelization on the backside. And I am just cooking this over a medium low temp to a medium temp. Nothing crazy. All right, and can I tell you guys that I'm actually really excited about this because I love making foods with bananas in it. Banana and apple are my favorite foods, and I do like to use them in like savory dishes. If you've never tried like apples inside of a chicken soup, it adds this nice little sweetness to it. So if you can eat apples, then I would definitely recommend putting some apples in your next like chicken soup you make. I've actually done that on my channel before.
Diva, what? Diva, what? I mean, I am a sweet and savory girl. I love sweet with savory, and I would try it, but but I'm very confused by it as a concept. I am a little confused by it as a concept. Are we talking Granny Smith or something sweet? She didn't really specify. She really didn't. Why is she dirtying so many dishes? That's a good question. I don't understand why she does have 2 plates here. I don't understand what the point of the bottom plate is either, but maybe she thinks that makes it fancy. She did say she was trying to make this fancy, you know?
Just used some canned chicken, carrots, chicken broth. Put whatever veggies you want in there.
I also fear that, like, she didn't toast that bread enough for it to actually give it texture that's going to withstand the wet, moist Greek yogurt on top of it.
And then just put the apple in there and let it cook with the soup. It'll kind of break down and make it a little bit sweet.
She's still talking about the apple
really good
soup.
I should actually make that again soon. I'm just gonna lay my seared bananas here on top. If you wanted to mash up some of the seared bananas into the Greek yogurt, instead of doing it with just the plain, that would give it like a nice caramelization kind of flavor to it.
Sure.
And I do believe that is breakfast for me. All right, It's time for the taste and the rating.
I would try it. I just think it's overly complicated. And I also feel like, why not use cream cheese and not Greek yogurt? And also, like, you don't really probably need to mix the banana into the yogurt if you're just going to put banana on top of it. And I also think the other thing I would do is, instead of slicing them up into, like, medallions like that, I would just slice the banana long. And that would make it easier to, like, flip in the pan and like, easier to put onto the sandwich, you know? That's just my thoughts. Not to be pedantic, but feel the need to offer this sincere interpretation. This to me feels like someone trying to get maximum calories / nutrients on a few, out of a few ingredients, and show how extra time and details can make something cheap and simple feel more special. I appreciate that. I think you're probably right. I mean, she did talk about wanting to make it seem fancy. I think, like, I would love for her to say that. I don't know that she necessarily communicated that. But I do appreciate that perspective. I think that is also what some of those other, like, channels I mentioned before try to do with their audience. They try to, like, share ways that, like, you can still make something nice out of, like, simple, cheap ingredients. I don't know that she's great at articulating that, but I do appreciate it. And also, like I said, I'm not entirely mad at this. Like, I would try this. I just think also it feels... I think one of the things that I've shared before that I find fascinating and interesting about moms who post these, like, recipes and stuff on the internet is, like, did this need to be a video? I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe it did. Maybe it did. Maybe it did.
Ooh, it's nice and soft on the bottom. Oh my gosh.
She didn't need to say it. Toasting the bananas said it all. You know what? Go off, Diva. I think you're right. I think you're right.
Fabulous. That is one flavorful, tasty seared banana. That yogurt's really good. It's not overly sweet, but it gives a nice creaminess to the seared bananas. If you've ever had a dehydrated...
I'm also living for the Nightmare Before Christmas apron, in case it hadn't been said yet or acknowledged. Do we ever see her face? I don't think so.
Banana, it has a very similar taste to that. Like that really delicious sweetness, but with the caramelization, you get this like sugary brown sugar kind of vibe and flavor. I do like how the bottom isn't toasted because it's not super crunchy, but it still has a little bit of crunch there on the top. You kind of get the best of both crunchy and soft bread. I tried a couple of recipes in old vintage cookbooks and they suggested to do that a lot, so I started doing it and I actually really like it that way. The bananas are just so soft inside, they just melt in just like butter with the creaminess of the yogurt.
Sure.
Oh, this is delicious.
Okay.
If somebody told me I had to eat this all week for breakfast, I would not be disappointed.
Diva, I think we
It would
can
be one of
move
those meals that I wook up and was looking forward to eating. For my next meal,
Diva, I think
it's actually going to be a low-carb meal, and that is a bell pepper bun Sammy. You're going to need a bell pepper, which was 72 cents.
A bell pepper bun, Sammy? So the bun is going to be made out of bell pepper. All right. Okay. All right. Basically a lettuce wrap, but except with a green bell pepper. Which, honestly, green bell peppers are the worst of the bell peppers. They really are. But also, if we're gonna use, it's not that weird because people do use bell peppers as like vessels for like stuffed peppers, This has to be the same chick that does the wood burnings on TikTok. I don't think it is, but I do love that girly. I think that girly knows that she's in on the joke though, right? Like she knows that she's doing them bad. Correct? Are we talking about the same person? I think she knows that they're bad.
A tomato, which was 18 cents. And then one pack of lunch meat. I got this buttocks. It was 78 cents.
The buttock lunch meat is a no-go for me. I'm sorry, like I don't know what kind of mystery meat is in the buttock. I know some people. I mean, I would say. Sorry, I thought I was gonna sneeze. I felt a sneeze coming on. I was like, I'm not gonna throw up on stream, but I thought I was gonna sneeze. I thought I was about to sneeze. I could feel it. I could feel it coming on. No, I've just never trusted that particular brand when I've looked at it. I think you could pay a little bit more for like, I don't know, whatever the next level is. I still say like, if you can afford it, treat yourself to the deli meat from like the actual deli. And if you don't want to go up and talk to the person at the deli, they oftentimes have like discounted deli meat that's already packaged up on like the end caps by the deli. It's just not for me. I like a quality. I guess I'm a bougie bitch. And I know that this isn't necessarily, the audience isn't necessarily bougie bitches like me.
So we have a total of $1.68 for this meal. Get my heat turned on for my pan. You can serve this one of two ways. You can just eat this raw, or I'm gonna do a nice little pan sear on each side. Just gonna slice it down the middle, We're gonna get those insides carved out.
Uh-huh.
It's one, and then get the second one. Okay, and you can leave it like this, but it'd be kind of hard to eat. So I like to shave off just a little bit more so you get more of a bun.
Okay.
And you can remove that top core piece. And then again with the second one. You could put that in your pan and then pan sear it on each side, drop an egg in the middle. You got yourself like a cute little egg thingy. Sorry, that's just me being creative and silly while I'm cooking. And then the tomato, I'm just gonna slice it up. I'm not gonna be cooking this. I'm gonna put a nice thick slice.
What exactly are we cooking? The meat? What is being cooked? What's gonna get cooked over here?
On a sandwich. This might be good though if you pan seared it on both sides just for a second. I just don't want it to make it mushy. Gonna need a little bit of oil in your pan.
She's cooking the pepper? The bun?
And that's just to get a nice sear for the bell pepper. And of course the veggies that I don't use, I'm gonna use for something else in another meal later. Not in this video though. And I'm just gonna pan sear this. I don't want it to get too soft. So just until a nice little sear starts to happen, I'll flip it over. That way it's still got a nice crunch to it, but it'll be a little bit soft.
Okay,
I did have to cover this, and then I put about a tablespoon of water in here just to get it to soften up a bit. I forgot when I cook the bell pepper this way that I needed to add the water. So it's been a while.
All right.
I'm just gonna get these off to the side so I can get my
Would you rather eat it raw? I'd rather not eat it at all, to be honest. I don't mind peppers and stuff. I don't know that I want a bell pepper to be the bun to my deli meat, to be honest with you, but I don't know that it's for me. I don't know that it's for me.
Meat in here. Of course, you can use any kind of lunch meat you want to, or any kind of meat you want to. You could actually use like a hamburger or turkey patty in here. And you actually don't need to cook these in the pan if you don't want to. Personally though, I do enjoy my lunch meat when it has just a little bit of a sear to it. And it doesn't take long.
Yeah, see, I'm just not trusting that particular lunch meat. It's just not for me.
For this to cook up, you just want to remove a little bit of that water content.
I feel like I'd love that 64-cent bread bun for this meal too. Well, I think it seems like she is trying to create low-carb content for somebody. Because she mentioned she's working on that video of like the 33 ingredient meals or whatever for 30 days or whatever. And she said that like a good chunk of those is going to be low carb. So I don't know if she's had people requesting low carb recipes or something, but it seems like it's of interest to her.
And then heat them up a little bit. Really good this way. And then just be sure to flip it over, get the other side a little bit. It's kind of like fried bologna. You could use, actually, you could use fried bologna in this. You could use bacon in this.
Sure.
You could replace those, and you could use an egg if you have an egg, want to use an egg.
It could just be a completely different thing.
Those two are done. Gonna get some more on here and get all of these seared up. All right, my friends, that is that. Gonna build my sandwich.
Where's the flavor gonna come from? Where's the seasoning coming from? Oh my god, she has 3 plates. No, 4 plates this time. She's got 4 plates. She said this is real fancy. It calls for 4 plates.
Got the bell pepper on there. Got my stack of lunch meat here. There are 7 slices that you get in that pack. Just in case you want to get the pack yourself. And they do come in different meat varieties. So you got turkey, you got beef. They had corned beef. They have chipped beef, I believe. They have a whole bunch of different ones.
I always love when they just suggest like literally all the 5, 6, 7, 8 other things you could make on this sandwich. Like, I don't know, for me, it's just intuitive to me that it's like, oh, if I don't like turkey meat, I could get ham. I could get bologna, you know? I'm just, that always just tickles me, because for me, it feels intuitive that if I want to make some changes to something as simple as a sandwich, I could literally just choose a different protein source.
Just gonna get that spread out. And then put my tomato slices on there. Maybe I should have diced those. I think that would be a little bit better for the bite. All right, and that is it. All right, she is plated. I think some kind of sauce would be good on here. Like, you could even do mustard.
Yeah.
Even mayo would be good on here.
She needs something. She needs something for some more flavor, something.
I think I would have salted and peppered the underside of the bell pepper.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't.
Just a little bit of flavor. The crunch is really nice on this. It's not too crunchy. It's not too soft. Actually, the tomato provides a nice moisture to this. Lunch meat tastes really good seared. Basically, you know, all of the flavors inside of a sandwich served without the bread. It came out really nice. I'm actually really happy with this. I do want to try the barbecue sauce.
You got barbecue sauce. Let's go. See, this is what we needed. Nope, I learned with the bean soup TikTok that people aren't intuitive. No, that's true. I know exactly the TikTok you're talking about. I really do. People are funny about recipe videos and things like that. Like, people love to leave comments on videos like this and be like, I would have made it with blah, 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 blah. And it's like, Diva, that's an entirely different recipe. But that is also what these comments give. It's like, is it not like something entirely different if we do a different, like, isn't the point of this is that you're showing me? But I guess I'm not the average commenter on a recipe YouTube video. Her recipes so far just heat it in a pan. Yeah, kind of. Can I still make this if I'm allergic to tomatoes and don't like ham? Yeah. Don't put the tomatoes on it and use a different meat.
That I have tried it on there. This is just like an original barbecue sauce. Get my sandwich, get my BBQ sauce, or just a little drop. And then we're gonna give that a taste.
Not too much flavor.
Ooh. Oh yeah. That's good. Just needs a condiment of choice. My next choice would be mayo. Maybe even Miracle Whip. All right, for this next meal, I'm going to be making a zucchini and potato cheese saute. I'll be using macaroni and cheese powder. This box cost 58 cents.
I don't know if I am more upset with this than like the other ways she's made cheese sauce. Why are we taking the cheese powder out of the mac and cheese box? What are we gonna do with those noodles? Honestly, truly, just make the mac and cheese and call it a day. Girl, that's a meal for me. That would be a meal for me.
Zucchini, this was 46 cents. And a potato, it was 57 cents. All right, so we got a total of $1.61. It's a pretty simple, straightforward meal. I am going to be sauteing each of these vegetables separately. And that's really just to get like the best crispness for each of those vegetables. You could just throw this in a pan and saute it. You could steam it. You could probably bake the potato in the oven, or you could cook it in the microwave and then chop it up and put it in the saute.
So we can basically do anything, but I just want to know what you're doing, Diva.
Whatever you want to do, but I like the flavor that the pan gives it. Just going to use a little bit of oil for that. All right, potatoes are done. And for the zucchini, I'm just going to slice these into half moon shapes.
Half Moon Joe. Half Moon Joe. Half Moon Joe.
I think that's the funnest shape for a zucchini.
When you see her make food, it makes sense why she was blown away by the Mexican dishes. Well, I think you're thinking of a different content creator. You're thinking of a different content creator. That is not the same one. Different person, different woman.
All right, my pan is getting hot. I'm gonna add in a little bit of oil. I'm gonna cook the potato first. It's gonna take the longest. Get that oil, heat it in the pan. Get those potatoes added in.
Same vibe, and I think old Southern Frugal Mama actually made some dishes that seem to be good.
I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Nothing like salt and pepper on a potato. Love it that way. Reminds me of my childhood. My mama used to slice up potatoes and fry them. And then
Nothing like salt and pepper on food. What a concept. Ain't nothing like salt and pepper on food. Nothing like it. I'm just like, Diva, most people are putting salt and pepper on most of their food. That's like the bare minimum for seasoning food, you know? That's the bare minimum. Most people are putting salt and pepper on most things.
we would eat them with eggs, either scrambled or fried. That's like my most fondest childhood breakfast is fried eggs and fried potatoes. All right, just gonna get those crisped up on all sides.
Mind you, we got potato and cheese broth 69 in the chat, and they said, "Oh my God, this has potatoes and wacky cheese. I've been waiting so long for this." It's truly their day, and they also like came in today and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I made it today." And I was like, "I'm so glad you made it today because we're watching the YouTuber that inspired their name to begin with." You could just eat these roasted veggies in addition to the box mac and cheese. That's honestly tea. That's honestly tea. Make the box of macaroni and cheese and make the veggies either on the side or like not even necessarily opposed to just like putting the veggies in the mac and cheese. My mom used to put veggies in the mac and cheese growing up, you know. We are living fancy today. That's real.
And so they cook faster. I'm going to cover those. These guys are browning up.
Maybe
very
it's
nicely.
too much
They're
carb.
Tender. I did have to put a little bit of water in here, and then I covered
But
it up.
if it's too much carb, then take away the potato. Take away the potato and do zucchini and another cheap vegetable, you know? That's like less starchy.
Cooking fast enough, and I didn't want them to burn, so they got nice and soft after I'd already crisped them up a little bit, got them a little brown. I'm gonna get these off of the heat and onto a plate. And now we can work on the zucchini. I love zucchini when it gets nice and like grilled up on the stove. It is so tasty. Something about those little sear marks just really bring out the flavor of a zucchini. And then again, just gonna lay those in a...
Oh, we gotta watch Cherie sometime soon. It's been a long time since we watched Miss Cherie and her zucchinis.
Single layer on the bottom of this pan, and then I will get it all nice and seared up. Again, just a little dash of salt.
Is the pan hot?
Pepper. Get that little guy turned over. Boop. Okay. Let me get those seared. Okay, those are also browned now. Let me get those on my plate. And
it looked cold as hell. Oh, she only has one plate. We downgraded.
To work on my cheese sauce. I just want to say that that is the only box of Walmart's macaroni and cheese that they had in the store. I went to the neighborhood Walmart, so they didn't have a big selection, so all I could get was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Honestly, you don't have to apologize for that. I want the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle macaroni and cheese. I love the shapes. Don't explain. You're not using the noodles anyways, apparently. So.
And I was like, where's the adult macaroni and cheese?
No such thing.
Yeah, I went ahead and got this, and I'm actually really glad I did because it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's one of my favoriteest movies from my childhood. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm
a little bit of all of the guys, you know, like moody and fun, a little smart sometimes, and then I'm like a party dude, Michelangelo. Okay, so you can actually go a couple of different ways with the macaroni. Personally.
So why are you being a hater? I know, right? Why is she hating if it was one of her favoriteest movies?
I didn't want to have the noodle.
You know, she can't use the noodles because this is fancy. She's making this stuff fancy. I forgot about that.
Different ways with the macaroni. Personally, I didn't want to have the noodles in my dish, but you could technically use it as part of the 3 ingredients here.
Okay, work.
I only got it for the cheese powder. This is like the cheapest way. Was it 58 cents? And you can get cheese and macaroni. And then I usually just save the macaroni, use it for something else, and then I use the cheese powder in meals. I'm gonna make a cheese sauce with that powder. Got 1/4 cup water. I might need to add a little bit more.
I feel like also the concept of sauce for her is usually like liquid. the way it's typically liquid. I mean, I'd use milk or an additional ingredient if I wasn't limiting myself to only 3 ingredients. All right.
Personally, if it was me, I would use milk. And or you could do milk with beef, chicken, or veggie flavorings. You could use a chicken broth. You could use a beef broth. Or you could use the milk with one of the flavorings. I'm just going to use the water with the residual oil in the pan. And I think that's all I'm going to do for that.
Oh, God.
I'm going to get this opened. And we're going to get some cheese powder.
Oh, yeah. Using maybe a potato to help thicken it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm going to put about a tablespoon in there.
We're not even using
That's
the
start.
whole
We might need more or less.
package?
Or we might need, let me switch to the whisk. We might need more liquid. I mean, technically, if you're wanting to make this and don't have macaroni powder, you can use whatever cheese powder you want. You could use a regular shredded cheese and put that in here and make a cheese sauce. I find one of the best ways to make a cheese sauce is mixing whatever cheese you want and cream cheese. Just do equal parts of them, and you get like the creamiest.
She's talking about all these things you could do, and then she has this this pan full of piss water on the screen. You want to say hi? What's up, buddy? You want to say hi? I also, this is, it's just not giving. It's just not.
Almost Velveeta-like cheese ever. It's really delicious, and you only need those 2 ingredients.
Okay, and that's not what this is,
I'm going to add a little
though.
bit more cheese powder to this.
That's not what this is at all.
And then I'm going to let this simmer here and reduce a little bit. It will thicken up as it cooks here.
I'm not convinced.
All right, definitely starting to thicken up. Again, you can just serve this with the macaroni. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have the vegetables and the cheese sauce. Okay, since that's starting to thicken up,
Thicken up where? Thicken up where? I'm so sorry, but I'm not seeing the thickness that she's discussing here.
I'm going to add back in my veggies. Save a few for no sauce topping.
It's just for looks. You can add it all in. Why would I want some of it to not be sauced?
And the rest is going to go in here. I'm just going to let this simmer here for about a minute. As I'm looking at this, you know what? It probably would have been good served over like the macaroni plain and then put the cheese sauce in the top here. I don't know. It's worth playing around with, but we're going to give it a try like this. It looks really good. It has some like...
It's just 2 plates. 2 plates for this recipe. Just 2. Oh, her concept of cheese sauce, anytime we've ever watched her, is just so wild to me. It's so wild to me as a concept. To call that a cheese sauce, please tell me this isn't meant to be a whole meal. I think that's what she's suggesting, yeah. I think she's suggesting this is a 3-ingredient meals.
Cheese sauce clinging right there to the zucchini. Just looks really nice. I love zucchini that way. It is so good. It brings out its natural flavors. It's so good. I think a little bit of fresh garlic would be good in here. If you have it, you could use powdered. I just think fresh would be really good. It would work really well with the potatoes and the zucchini.
You know what? All of these suggestions mean nothing to me. All of these suggestions mean nothing to me because that's not how you made it, and this is not giving to me or giving for me today.
That's probably the only spice I would add to this. Maybe
Yeah,
just
you can barely tell that there's sauce on this.
A bit more pepper because I like that. I think a condiment that would be good with this is sour cream and or salsa, like mixed in with the cheese sauce. I think that would be a nice addition. Give it some creaminess, give it a little like spicy kick to it, maybe even some jalapenos.
Okay, but you didn't do any of that. You didn't do any of that. I would much rather you see you do all of that stuff. I would much rather see you do all of that stuff, to be honest. I do not care about it being less than $1.70. And I very much care about seeing something that would actually be good. Honestly, truly. Do one of those ingredients that you mentioned and say that it's $5 or less or whatever, you know? Love how she always says, I would have done this and this and this. Who's stopping you? Her budget! It has to be less than $2 or whatever. You know?
If you wanted to, you could probably add like beans or like lentils to this.
She's still
going. Those would
going.
be delicious in here. And then my favorite, I would personally add some tomatoes. Kind of goes with the salsa.
You had tomatoes already.
Thank you so much for watching. Happy eating, my friends.
You already had the opportunity, Diva. You really did. You really did. You would, but you didn't. You would, but you didn't. You would, but you absolutely did not. Well, Divatrons, that's all for that. But YouTubies, come back tomorrow, and Twitch folks, stick around, because we're gonna check in on the Pink Fairy 1, 2, 3. Come on, let's get fancy. All right. So it's happening all in one day here on Twitch, but YouTube, you'll have to wait till the next day, all right, for it to get scheduled. But bye, YouTubies! Subscribe!